Although Franklin Delano Roosevelt believed that we were going to have to get involved in World War II, the United States still had an attitude of not getting involved in the European affairs. We still had a attitude of isolationism, and so President Roosevelt was trying to have this delicate balance where he knew that we were going to have to get involved with it, but he also knew that if he pushed for it, he was going to have a very angry public. Remember, we were just 20 years removed from World War One, and this primarily was a European problem. And so the attitude that Americans had simply said, hey, it's Europe's problem, let them deal with it, and we'll worry about what Japan's doing another day. And so the United States had a policy of isolationism, but yet at the same time, our political leaders and President Franklin Delano Roosevelt realized that a strong Great Britain is good for the country. Great Britain is our ally, Great Britain is our friend, and we have strong ties with them. So their being threatened by the Nazi regime was very problematic. So we wanted to help them out. So we created this program called the Lend-Lease Act because Great Britain was running low on funds. So we were able to lend them and lease them military equipment, or they could get military equipment that was antiquated or used, and they could lease it for a while, and they didn't have to pay us back until later. Or we would get access to their bases for 99 years. So they would allow us to get access to those bases. We lease them this equipment, we lend them this equipment so they can use for their war effort. So that was one way we were able to get around like strict neutrality. We were able to support Great Britain in that way. Same thing, what was going on in the Pacific, we didn't want to get involved with Japan and trying to stop their expansion, but we knew that they were getting too aggressive, and we knew that they were going to be a problem in China. And remember, we had a big trade interest in China already with the open door policy, right? And so we sent out, we had mercenaries that went over there to fight on behalf of China. These were called the Flying Tigers. American pilots went over there, and they went into these planes, and they were actually painted like tigers in the front, and they helped stave off some of the Japanese wave of attacks going on in China. So the Flying Tigers were able to not necessarily defeat Japan, but to stop their expansion, or at least delay their expansion. And this was actually getting Japan kind of furious, to be honest with you, because Japan knew what was going on. Japan knew that we weren't really being totally neutral, that we were getting involved in the war effort in one way or another. So they knew that the United States had already was choosing sides, and it wasn't the side of Japan.